You may have heard that 7 of the top 12 insurance companies have left California, and an increasing number of companies are denying or canceling policies. I'm going to walk you through 4 things that may prevent you from getting insurance on your next home. And also, if you currently own your home, I'm going to talk to you about some things that will help you avoid getting your coverage canceled. Also, if you're thinking of selling a home, it's important that you're aware of issues that may come up in escrow so that you're not caught off guard, or better yet, you can mitigate these issues up front. California's insurance market is a mess, to say the least. Insurance companies have fled the state in droves. They've been overwhelmed by the escalating risk of wildfires and other natural disasters. There was a big fire season in 2017 and 2018, and it wiped out decades of profit for insurance companies. To make matters worse, construction costs has gone up for many years in staggering numbers. In an attempt to protect consumers from insurance costs being too high, the California Department of Real Estate refused to approve any rate hikes, and unfortunately, this really backfired. The result of so many carriers leaving has meant that some homeowners are left with houses that are only insurable through really expensive plans. So let's kick off my discussion with the red flags that may mean that your current house or a future house that you might be considering buying is at risk for a more expensive plan than usual, or that you may receive notice that your current insurance company will no longer insure your residence. So here's 4 potential issues. Reason number 1, knob and tube wiring. So knob and tube wiring has become more problematic in recent months, and actually a lot of San Francisco homes have it. It was a standard form of wiring that was done between the 1880s and the 1950s, and it was considered a very suitable electrical option, but right now it's considered outdated. So if a home has knob and tube, there are a few carriers that will insure it, but it depends, and many won't. So updating electrical can be done, but it's actually pretty expensive. Most people will update knob and tube when they do a kitchen or bath remodel, but generally only in those areas. The only way to update the electrical to the entire house is when you do a down to the studs construction project. When we see knob and tube in a disclosure package, or if we're looking to put a house on the market with knob and tube, we look deeper for a few things that we know are red flags in combination with knob and tube. So if you own a house or you're thinking of buying one that has knob and tube and it also falls into any one of the following categories, more than likely you're going to need to get supplemental insurance through the California Fair Plan Act, which typically is going to mean doubling rates over more standard carriers. Number 1, how is the foundation? If it's not in great shape or if it's brick, that's going to be a problem. Number 2, how old is the roof? If it's more than 20 years, that also could be a problem. Number 3, what kind of plumbing is there? If it's galvanized, that could be a problem. Number 4, age of the home. If it was built prior to 1900, that could also be a problem. Now remember, most of these are only problems when in combination with knob and tube. If this is your first time to our channel and you're looking for more videos about real estate and homeownership in San Francisco, make sure you hit that subscribe button. My name is Ruth Krishnan. I'm founder of the Krishnan team, and we help buyers and sellers every day, just like you, sell homes in San Francisco. So if you're someone who's thinking about buying or selling, feel free to reach out to us in the contact below. Reason number 2, previous claims. So insurance companies actually consider your claim history when they determine the cost of coverage. So before you call an insurance company and file a claim on something minor, like your jacket got stolen out of your car, you might think twice. If you have 2 or more claims, regardless of the size of the claim, in this environment, you'll not be able to obtain new coverage from most carriers. Also, if you have any claim over $25,000 in the last 3 to 5 years, most insurance companies will not write you a new policy. So there's always going to be options, but they are going to come to you at a very significantly higher cost. So it's important to note that insurance actually have the right not to renew, and they have the right to terminate policies based on claims histories. Reason number 3, homes built prior to 1900. Most carriers are actually not insuring homes built prior to 1900. This has been a long-standing issue that we've seen in San Francisco, and we do have quite a few homes here that are pre-1900, but there are carriers that will cover them. What is new is that insurance companies are taking a much closer look at deferred maintenance. As far as why the 1900 date for the cutoff, I think at some point they just had to pick a date that was based on, we know that houses built prior to this date likely have outdated features that are not up to code, such as wiring, plumbing, and roofing. So obviously those kinds of features can make houses more susceptible to water damage from fire, water, or other hazards. Older materials are also susceptible to deterioration. There are some materials that are also considered obsolete and not permitted in construction. So some such examples would obviously be lead-based pipes. So those were used actually a lot before 1970s, and lead can leach into the pipes and into the drinking water, and it actually poses some pretty serious health risks. Reason number 4, high-risk location. So this is the most obvious, which is why I saved it for last in case you didn't make it this far. This one is not new. So insurance companies assess the risk associated with insuring properties when the home is located in an area with a higher frequency of wildfires or other natural disasters, and it's considered a high-risk environment. The California FAIR Plan was actually enacted to help cover these kinds of areas. Though San Francisco does obviously have earthquakes and occasionally we have landslides, we've not had issues in insurance as long as I've been working with regard to high-risk coverage areas. However, if you're looking into more of the wooded areas outside of San Francisco, you should definitely talk to your realtor about insurance carriers and the service and the price in those areas. Though you can pick up your home and move it, there are definitely steps you can take to mitigate issues. We'll talk about that in a little bit. In the coming months, the state insurance department is set to shape the new regulations and implement reforms. Structural changes is needed, and hopefully there's going to be more options for homeowners. I think there will be. So in upcoming videos, I'm going to dig into more about how we got here and what we can do about it. So stay tuned for that. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out using any of the contact information below, and drop me a comment with any questions that you have. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel.